Secretary General, thank you for this interview. You've concluded 2 days of meetings in Bucharest, the first time the alliance is gathering at this level on the eastern flank after Russia invaded Ukraine. With what results?
This was a very timely and important meeting. I think it was important that we had it in Bucharest. It demonstrates Romania's strong commitment to our alliance, but also that NATO is here. Not only with a ministerial meeting, but NATO has a presence in Romania, which is important for the stability, the security in this Black Sea or in the Black Sea region, and of course in Romania. The main message from the meeting is that we need to support Ukraine to help them push back the aggressive actions of Russia, and especially now help them with air defense systems to protect Ukrainian cities, Ukrainian infrastructure, civilians against these senseless air and missile attacks against Ukraine that we have seen, especially over the last weeks.
You've also met with President Iohannis, who expressed some concerns about the implementation of the Madrid decisions. He said there's need for a stronger presence and defense capacities on the eastern flank, repositioning equipments and specific action plans. Do you share his assessment?
I had a very good meeting with President Iohannis, and I assured him that, of course, NATO has plans in place to protect all allies, including Romania and the countries in the Black Sea region, NATO allies in the Black Sea region. We have also significantly increased our presence. This actually started in 2014 after Russia's illegal annexation of Crimea. And then, especially after the invasion this year, we have further added more troops. I myself, I visited the MK base here in Romania just before the invasion. And then actually we already started with more American troops, but also the French-led battle group, and also with more air power. So with more land forces, air forces, we have already significantly increased our presence in Romania. Then, of course, we are constantly assessing what more we need to do, and we are following up the decisions we made at the summit in Madrid to have more forward presence, more pre-positioned equipment, and then different types of earmarked troops that can be quickly sent or deployed to reinforce the defenses, for instance, in Romania. So this is part of a strong adaptation of NATO. Over the last years, we have implemented the biggest reinforcement of our collective defense since the end of the Cold War, and our increased presence in Romania as part of that. Some countries participated for the first time as observers, obviously Sweden and Finland, who were invited to join, but also partner states. And I would like to talk particularly about Moldova, who is directly affected by the Russian attacks on Ukraine and on its energy system. Now, Moldova is a neutral country. What can NATO do for its security? First of all, we respect Moldova's neutrality. NATO has never forced any country to join the alliance. It has always been a decision based on free democratic decisions by the people in those countries that have decided to join NATO, as Romania did some years ago. But respecting Moldova's neutrality, Moldova has been a long-term partner for NATO for many years, and we have worked to help build defense and security institutions, implement reforms, and also we have had some practical cooperation. So we are ready to do more. I met with the president of Moldova recently, and we discussed how NATO could do more, support more, and also in a meeting here in Bucharest with the foreign minister of Moldova, we had concrete discussions on how allies could provide more support to Moldova, including by providing economic support as many allies do on a bilateral level.
The incident in Poland when two people were killed on NATO territory by two rackets raised some serious concerns in the countries that have borders with Ukraine. How big is the risk to see an incident like that happening again in Poland or Romania or Moldova?
There is a full-fledged war going on in our neighborhood, just over the border from Romania, from Slovakia, from Hungary, from Poland, all NATO allies. Wars are dangerous and incidents and accidents may happen. So therefore we need to continue to be agile, to monitor closely, and also to send, of course, a message that if there is a deliberate attack on a NATO ally, the whole alliance will be there. An attack on one ally will trigger a response from the whole alliance. And we are sending that message to Moscow to ensure that there is no room for miscalculation, misunderstanding about our unity and our readiness to protect and defend all allies. The reason why we do that, and I've done that for actually more than 70 years, is to not provoke a conflict, but to prevent the conflict, to preserve peace. NATO is not party to the conflict. We support, in Ukraine, we support Ukraine to uphold the right for self-defense, but we are not party to the conflict. We have increased our military presence, especially in the eastern part of the alliance, to remove any room for miscalculation in Moscow about our readiness to protect and defend all allies, and we do that exactly to prevent escalation beyond Ukraine. On the specific incident in Poland, I would just say that we have no indications that that was a deliberate attack on NATO territory. Most likely it is a Ukrainian air defense missile, but the responsibility remains a Russian responsibility. Russia bears the responsibility because this wouldn't have happened had it been for around 100 air and missile attacks on Ukraine that same day. And of course Ukraine has tried to defend itself, and that's exactly what they did. The last thing I will say is that we are vigilant, we are monitoring, we are there to protect all allies, but we don't have any indications that Russia is planning any offensive military operations against any NATO allies. Not least because we are there, we are protecting allies and sending a clear message.
Secretary General, thank you very much for this interview.
Thanks so much for having me.